Paraguayan politician and senator. Welcome everyone here in Hungary, in one of the lost bastions of freedom. I would like to welcome all the panel members here, and congratulations, because you are playing a major role in a key event here on the third CPAC in Hungary, because there were lots of discussions and speeches delivered here, but this is going to be the first one in Spanish, which also reflects how much we would like to open to the Siberian world. And there are 60 speakers, and 13 of them are coming from your region, so welcome. Why are we talking about the Siberian world? Jorge, my dear friend, when we opened our office in Madrid, we said that Latin America is a great reserve for the Western world, and I truly believe that. It was mentioned, Jorge was mentioned, I've seen his name. He is a member, he is a nightmare for the São Paulo Forum, and he did everything in order to create an alternative in the Madrid Forum to the São Paulo Forum. Jorge, tell us when will we have a majority in the Madrid Forum in Latin America? Hello everyone, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful to CPAC for the invitation, especially thank you, Voik, who were always raising your voice for the Hispanic issues. It's great to be here in this beautiful city. Well, I'm definitely not someone who sees the future. I believe in God, and I don't know when the situation will get better, but we are getting closer and closer, definitely, with Javier Milei in position, or José Antonio Cast. I think all of this shows that the enemies of the rule of law, those who were using wokeism as a cover for communism, are in a more and more difficult situation. The Madrid Forum is gaining momentum as well, and I think whole this very American continent, we see this all this pain, all these tears due to post-communist drug trafficking regimes are now getting more and more isolated. I'm not quite sure when we will win, but I'm certain that we are in a better and better position. And the lady sitting on my left will play a great role in Colombia. I'm certain of that as well. Yeah, thank you very much. As you mentioned, Ms. Cabal, arriving from Colombia, a beautiful country, a great country. Now you are struggling, suffering from your first communist president, if I'm correct, and what we usually see in these situations, he was elected with a rather big majority, but now he is losing his popularity because freedom rights are cut and the wealth of the country diminishes as well. Yeah, a couple of days ago, on 21st of April, Sunday, what happened then? Well, it was one of the biggest marches in the political history of Colombia. This was one of the biggest protests against guerrilla groups. earlier similar protests took place in 2008, and now we organize something similar. People all over Colombia came, from smaller and bigger settlements, and they were all joined by a common cause because they are afraid. We are afraid of this communist president who is doing barbaric deeds, who was also a guerrilla in the past. But unfortunately, the story, the history of Colombia is full of gifts and presents which were gained by evil men over the last 200 years. Our history is full of violence. Nonetheless, we moved forward. And now we said that we are not going to let him take our country from us. It's a great threat. It's a great threat at the moment, because crime is international and it reaches faraway places quickly. What we see in the Latin American countries are drug dictatorships with allies such as Iran. We would have thought that Iran, as an Islamist country, and communism is an atheist, but still they created an alliance. And this is a huge challenge for our country. Either we join forces or we lose our freedom. And that is why it's very important to be clear about the situation and to know that we are not letting our freedom rights to be destroyed and taken away from us. Us politicians should join forces. Yeah, that's quite clear. But when it comes to young people, universities, Julio, you are heading a media group, and media in general plays a key role in communist, neo-Marxist, wokist ideology. Leftists, why are leftists afraid of right-wing media outlets? Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation to this beautiful country and this beautiful city, to Budapest, where you feel right at home, where you feel that things are simply working well. The migration coming here is regulated, legal migration, and you feel safe. It was mentioned that the human being is willing to choose socially accepted truth than being isolated and remaining alone. And that's the only way a media outlet can survive. It must find the people who need certain points to grasp and not to feel alone. And we can talk about mass communication. And through mass communication, we define the ideological perspective of millions. And this is a task which can only be done by the media. And that's why it would be very important for both Spanish-speaking America and also here in CPAC to organize forums where we can debate these topics and where we can find common ground and a sense of belonging. And I think media plays a key role in this respect, in something which is called by hybrid warfare by Asimov. And we must not necessarily think about bullets and rockets, but you can think about the woke ideology as well when we are talking about warfare, because the woke ideology, we can weaken society which we want to conquer. And this is what's happening at the moment. And Hungary is clearly committed to protect these values, and that's quite marvelous, and I'm very happy about that. It's a luxury to be here, and I would like to urge all of you to do everything to support and develop free media, independent media, in order to, because it's very important to ensure free television, so most of the population can watch all the content that are important. Yeah, thank you very much. And let's turn towards Senator Leite from Paraguay, who said that the country felt alone for a long time because they felt that they are the only country in the region which is protecting homeland, which is standing up for values such as children and schools, as opposed to gender ideology. And there are a number of players who want to influence your country. For example, there is a US ambassador who would like to tell you what to do in your country. First of all, a warm welcome to everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation and for accepting us here. So we can think together. And I think the EU and US ambassador helped us a lot to win our elections, but that's the past. And now we have to focus on the future. Paraguay is a conservative island, a Christian country with deep running traditions. And of course NGOs are attacking us, who under the cover of cooperation are coming into the country, and they are attacking us, our constitution, which bans abortion, our constitution talking about marriage between man and woman, and the NGOs at the same time are working for our children, 7 or 8-year-old children, have the right to change their gender and sex if they identify in another manner. And with the Congress, we are working with the workforce to stop these efforts, to stop these NGOs, and make it possible that Paraguay could remain the island of faith and the protection of families. Thank you very much, Gustav. And if we take a look at Europe, one of the most woke countries is the Spanish government. And a couple of days ago, the Prime Minister was rather childish, and he acted like the far right actually threatened him related to the corruption case of his own wife. Jorge, how do you see this situation? He said that Monday he will say whether he will step down or not. Do you think that on Monday we will have one less woke president in Europe? Well, the only way to have one less woke president in Europe is Santiago Abascal could form a government in Spain, because in Spain all political forces are wokist forces. It all depends on, the extent of this ideology. They accepted gender ideology, but it was accepted by the socialists, and now PP, the People's Party, also accepted it. And the People's Party, in 85% of the cases, vote for every initiatives of the socialists. I don't think that the Prime Minister will step down, but I think that the ideas of Vox are going to be stronger in the future, and I think that all of these debates should be won by us, irrespective of the fact whether Pedro Sanchez remains in office on Monday or not. Ms. Cabal, in CPAC we talk about the fact that sovereignist forces, patriot forces should join forces. What's your take on this? How can Latin American patriotic forces support each other to have less vocist governments? First of all, I would say that we have to raise the awareness of the countries to the fact that Colombia is facing big threats when it comes to losing its freedom. So there is a true threat of not organizing any other free elections, independent elections in the future. And so I would like to ask the forces who organized CPAC and the Madrid Forum to this organization established by Hispanic forces and where we joined by historic traditions. And so I would like to ask the Madrid Forum to unite the countries of Latin America for the same purpose, which is usually seems like a difficult purpose to achieve. And we are working a lot to making a lot of efforts to achieve this purpose, which was already achieved by Javier Milei in Argentina, because he managed to decrease the gap through which Latin America has to cross to end this communist nightmare. And soon we will see the same thing in Chile, and that's what we see in our neighboring countries, such as Paraguay, where in the triple border we are facing guerrillas, and we have to resolve these challenges. And we have see Peru, who is also moving away from this nightmare, and we hope that something similar will happen in Colombia. Thanks to CPAC and thanks to you as part of Central Eastern Europe, because we know that you've suffered a lot under the era of the Iron Curtain and communism, and you were able to end this period by becoming the most prosperous, best performing countries of Europe. And we are standing there at this crossroads of and with the threat of losing everything. And for us, Polish, Hungarian groups are teaching us a lot. From you, we can only learn. You who suffered under communist regimes, and now you enjoy the benefits of free trade.
The question goes to Senador, Mr. Senador. We've talked about what we can expect from Latin American forces, but what can we expect, or what do you expect from Europe? What Latin America expect the European conservatives to do? Isn't that those aids that they are receiving through NGOs? We don't really know where they are channeled in, these assistance. Latin America needs to gain a voice. We are almost 700 million, more than the residents of Europe. So we have many people who shouldn't be left alone. We need to fight in the media this guerrilla war. We need help in the European Parliament, from the European Parliament, so that European taxes wouldn't finance wokeism in our region. Of course, we do our part. We need to do exactly the same as the wokists do. When a wokist is attacked, then everyone is helping. Every other wokist go to help them. So this is what we need from you, to come at our help. Someone told me that in your program, in the news outlets and during interviews that are broadcasted, very fierce debates are happening, and this is actually good. I think public debates are good. Your effective policies are the ones that are able to achieve and provide true happiness to individuals. Many years ago, I've been to Hungary. Well, the last time I've been to Hungary, and Hungary was a wholly different country. A couple of years ago, when I came here again, it was just as if I came to a much different planet. You do things that make possible for you to lead morally, to become moral leaders to the whole West. You can be a pioneer in these new, or you can take over the place of these new ideologies. Many times we are listening to the speeches of your Prime Minister when he speaks to the youngsters with this encouraging power. So we are very happy to cooperate with you. Jorge, Maria, Gustavo, I'm very thankful and grateful for this opportunity to talk to you. I think this debate or this discussion can be summarized in the following way. Together we will win, and God live freedom.